Hello everybody, this is Eyes to Blood. Welcome back to World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria. Hello Pandaren. She's a new character I just made. We're not focused on her. We're going to be taking Klein into Darkshore today because we finished Teldrassil last time. So, I mentioned in the previous episode that the first thing I was going to do before this episode was to get her professions a bit more in line with where we are in terms of progression. So I did some off-camera work and got her skinning up to snuff. And somehow that meant that the zone map got moved. That's weird. Let's get everything back in order. Okay, let's move that up. Move this over. Oh, I guess it's staying there. Anyway, see, if you look over here at her professions, her skinning is now at 55, so that's a lot more in line with what we got. So now we're going to see what this sentinel has for us. You look able and perhaps willing to help. Alberdine has finally fallen. Though many of its inhabitants departed long ago when the city first suffered the brunt of the cataclysm, many of the more stubborn residents are yet unaccounted for, and now it appears that the city may have been overrun by water elementals. My sisters need help rescuing the survivors. Please mage use the western tree to reach Root Theron, then speak to Thespristus to secure a flight to Lordanal. Be swift. Oh, these names. Okay, so we're heading off to Root Theron. So how do we get there? The western tree. What the hell is the western tree? You'll know it when you see it. So this is the transitionary quest. We're going to be heading into Darkshore. Alberdine was the major quest hub, the town that was there. And one of the major things that changed in Cataclysm was it seen better days, okay? That was one of the bigger things that Cataclysm did. Blizzard used it as a way to introduce new quest chains, to kind of streamline the leveling experience, make sure it was a little more easier to follow. Some people might say it dumbed down the leveling experience a little bit, made it too easy, made it too casual. Whatever. I don't care. I like what they did. And it's a nice change of pace because, let's face it, this game is 10 years old. It's starting to show its age. I mean, Darnassus has looked exactly like this since the game started. What's this over here? What is he doing? Oh, Brewfest. We're not doing Brewfest. Really, a lot of the events that happened, a lot of the holidays, you know, like Halloween and Brewfest, Easter, all those different major holidays. Warforged Nightmare. Huh. They're best done when you're at max level. Klein is way too young yet to involve herself with all these things. She's probably too young to drink. Doubtful. Anyway, Root Theron, here we are, and we're going to take a hippogriff down to Lordanal. That's the new major quest hub, I believe. This is where my experience with the new content is somewhat limited, because really the initial Teldrassil questline didn't change all that much. There were some changes, obviously, you know, cleansing the tree and all that, and some of the text changed and stuff. But for the most part, the experience itself didn't change all that much as far as I can remember. Although, keep in mind, last time I played through Teldrassil was with my priest, Sylvan, and I made her, like, years ago. So, for all I know, I could be completely wrong. Also, something I noticed, if you look at the skinning knife here, this is not apparently necessary anymore to do skinning. It just gives you a boost to skinning. So we'll definitely keep that because it's useful, but apparently that's another thing that they've decided to streamline. Again, like I said, streamline is a nice politically correct way of saying they dumbed down my game and I don't appreciate it and I don't think they're doing a good job and damn you Blizzard, give me back my money. I earned my right to say stupid things. Look, I'll acknowledge, I don't know the mentality of a lot of fans of the game who constantly bitch and complain about everything. Not to say that any of you fine people who might be watching this is like that. I'm sure you have legitimate arguments if you don't like certain parts of the game. And I'm sure that if I talked to you about them, you would sway me at least a little bit. You're not one of those bad people or anything. Anyway, quest time. Let's do this. Sentinels, blah, blah, blah. Did the Sentinels send you? Think alone. We need everyone we can get. Alright, here we go. Now we're in the business. Here we go. It's too late for Laird. He didn't make it in time. Oh, there's Laird. The last wave of night elves from Aberdeen attempted to escape a couple of hours ago. They stayed in their old home, clinging to the hope that it could be salvaged. But it seems they were finally forced out. I fear many of them won't make it, like Laird did not. Quickly, go down to the coast, to the west, and find any survivors that you can. We're sending sentinels and hippogriffs down, but every moment counts. We need to know which ones might make it. Alright, so here's a new quest. This is not what I remember from Darkshore, which is definitely, well, it's understandable considering what I just said. The main quest hub from before has been destroyed. The Cataclysm rocked the foundations of Azeroth as a whole. And of course, how are we going to, incorporate that visually? Well, let's destroy shit. That seems to be Deathwing's MO everywhere. You there! Yes? Some of the survivors of this last Aberdeen attack are still trying to make it up the coast to safety. We only caught word that they were coming within the last hour. I wish we had more warning. The coastline west of us is swarming with vile spray and vicious little water elementals. We need to clear them out, if any of the survivors are going to have a chance of making it to Lordanal. Depart immediately and kill every elemental you see. So, basically what we're getting here, now that we're kind of going further and further into the world, granted this is only the second zone, but still, we can already see a change in theme. Back when the game was first starting, the main conflict was, of course, the war between the Alliance and the Horde. Now, thanks to the Cataclysm, it isn't so much about that, it's more about survival. The Cataclysm, the Sundering, the Second Sundering, whatever you want to call it, basically was an apocalyptic problem. And so the focus for everyone, pretty much, as far as I understand, I don't know so much about the Horde side because I'm relatively new to the Horde, but at least for the Alliance side, as far as I've been able to tell, the focus is now on survival. The Horde doesn't really matter so much. Nobody really cares at this point, where we are right now, about what the Horde's doing. At least for the Night Elf side. Night Elves are focused more on survival. Who knows, maybe the humans are different, because of course King Varian Wrynn is a bit of a warmonger. Being as how I believe we could call him, if Garrosh Hellscream is currently the war chief of the Horde, right, body lies motionless. Oh, he grabbed my ankle. He's alive. Good for him. Anyway, what I was saying was, if we consider Garrosh war chief, Garrosh is war chief, he represents the Horde as a complete entity, right? Then probably King Varian represents the Alliance in the same way. And I'm pretty sure I've heard this, and I do tend to agree with it, even if this isn't necessarily the case. I tend to see it as an attempt to bring the war back into Warcraft, because of course a lot of people are saying, thanks to Wrath of the Lich King, which was the expansion before Cataclysm, and before, I believe, Varian and everybody came into, well, actually, hold on. Maybe Varian came back in Wrath of the Lich King. Either way, when he was brought back in, when Varian was brought back in, and Thrall was basically replaced by Garrosh, which I believe did happen in Cataclysm, so they kind of go in line with each other. That was an attempt to bring the age of cooperation between Alliance and Horde to an end. Because that's not the point. There's a reason that these two factions are enemies. They're supposed to be at war. That's the whole idea. Now, granted, stories evolve, and it would make sense for there to be some sort of ceasefire eventually. The war can't just go on forever. But then again, this game is called World of Warcraft, so it's about war. So if they say, for whatever reason, Blizzard decided, we're going to change, the Alliance and Horde are no longer going to be enemies. They're going to, team up. Then there needs to be an enemy for them to fight. There needs to be a war going on. They're always... that's the whole point of the franchise. And really, it's the whole idea of without conflict there is no story. So of course we need conflict to go on, and in a game like this, war is the most common. I mean, let's face it, medieval life was fraught with danger. Warfare was a pretty common one, right? And you know, disease and sickness and survival, of course, were other big ones and everything like that. So that's kind of what this world is based on. But considering it's called the Warcraft franchise, of course, war will always be a heavy, heavy component. Because if it isn't, then the name doesn't mean anything, and what the hell are we doing? So my whole point here is that, yes, while the story is evolving, I think Varian and Garrosh were brought in to kind of bring it back to its roots. And I think that the new expansion is kind of leaning that way as well, because we're going to see, like, the origin of the orcs as a race. We're going to see, so, you know, bring the orcs, which is one of the biggest races in the entire franchise. We're going to see where they started. What were they like on their home planet before Draenor got corrupted and blasted into seven hells, as we see it in Outland. Now, we're just about done here. There's only one more. There's White Claw we need to find. Ooh, this person's talking. Help, please. Well, we have help. There's a hippogriff for you. I believe that's a Silver Covenant hippogriff. At least that's the model. I think I have one of those. If not, I could get one. I do like the hippogriff model, and I do have a hippogriff, at least one, that I got from one of the expansions. I'm not sure what mount I'm going to have Klein use once she hits level 20. It's something I'll have to kind of look through my collection and see what we've got. So that one's just about done. We can kill off the rest of these vile sprays here and then track down Mr. White Claw. 6 out of 8. We're killing elementals already. There were definitely not elementals that I can recall back in Darkshore before, so this is kind of an interesting twist of things. Kind of shows that the world is kind of out of whack, you know. Creatures from other planes of existence are seeping through, so there's probably like cracks in the world and stuff. Because Deathwing, I forget his original name. Now that I think about it, I'll have to find it and make sure I remember it. But he was originally the Earth Warden, I believe was his title. He was, you know, he was the dragon aspect of the Earth, I believe. And so, you know, he probably lived in the elemental plane of Earth, called Deep Home, and which we will go there when we hit Cataclysm content. Deep Home was one of the new zones that Cataclysm introduced, so we're going to see that eventually. But probably what ended up happening is when Deathwing escaped, you know, he's a gigantic dragon, so when he escaped, it was, you know, it caused the Cataclysm, you know, massive upheaval, you know. So my guess is probably, you know, ripped holes in reality, and so a bunch of creatures from other planes of existence seeped into this one. So White Claw is safe. There you are. There's the Sentinel. You can help, White Claw. There we go. Alright, so he's going to be safe. So we're done with these two, so let's head on home. Not that far of a walk, but we might as well use a Hearthstone. That's what it's for. May have heard my cat just now. I'm recording right now. Okay, so we're going to turn these two in and then see where we go from there. Like I said, this is where my level of experience with the zone is limited. I'm actually not sure where we're going from here. Your efforts are very much appreciated. Since the Cataclysm, the Elementals have been out of control. We have little hope of taking back Albadine without extinguishing their presence first. Alright, there we go. That's one down. Let's see, let's turn in the second one. Oh, that's right. Up over by the docks. Let's head on down there. There you are, priestess. Thank you, mage. Some of them surely would not have made it without you. We'll be taking the wounded to the main building once we have them all safely back in town. Perhaps you can meet us there. I suppose. Oh, we got ourselves that level. Like I was saying, I was hoping that eventually, or not eventually, actually, basic, whoops. I want to have at least one level up per video, so. Oh, it's passive. Just doubles crit chance against all frozen targets. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's passive. I don't have to click anything. Alright. So what's over... What's the quest over here? Let's take a look. See what we got. Ooh, a Worgen. Jonathan's stats. Between boat rides and building, I'm exhausted and hungry. You know what sounds tasty? Fish. Fish sound delicious. Darkshore is known for its grouper. If you fish me up some, I'll make it worth your time. Alright, so basically this is introducing us to fishing. Now, fishing is oddly relaxing to me, at least. And, so I kind of enjoy it, but of course it's not the best in the way of viewing materials. So let's see if I can't. Yeah, see, that takes quite a while. And until we get some points, it's going to take quite a while before we actually start getting any fish. So, definitely going to be here for a little while. This is something else I'll probably end up doing mostly off camera, because look at that, we just got 2, there's 3. And see, even if I speed things up, like, we're going to be here for quite some time, because I'm going to need to get, like, 50 points. So that's something else I'll do off camera. This quest is not something to be done for an episode. Then I'll just get a few more points here, kind of show you. It's a very boring profession, but it's kind of relaxing to me as well. And here I am, just kind of exploring. Got some herbs, killing some horde sympathizers here. We've got trolls, and I think there's some Tauren here. Yeah, see, there's some Tauren and some Mage Royal. And see, we're already really kind of ahead of the curve level-wise, because if you see that, he's level 13, he's already green. You know, this is probably one of the higher level. I don't know if he's higher level, but he's definitely indicative of the sort of level range we're looking at here, and we're already way ahead of the curve, so. Alright, you know what, I'm going to close out this episode here. We'll figure out exactly where we're supposed to go next time, so bye-bye, Klein, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.